Hey everyone, today is October the 28th, 2021. And the thing that I'm going to be showing you is how to get effective ink edged pages without the rigmarole of laying it down flat and doing your little thing all the way around. And if you're shying away from it, I've got a really quick tutorial on how you can get it done fast. You don't even have to be sitting down for it. You don't need a table for it. If you're curious to know how, then please stay tuned. Welcome everyone. It's so nice to have your company. It's Jarf here from Medieval Mirage. I hope you're all doing well. Thank you so much for joining me. I want to thank all my beautiful subscribers. I hope you're all doing well. And for those that are new, welcome. Please consider subscribing. You'll be able to get more of this kind of content. Please keep your notification bells on. Okay, so inking. Is inking something that you shy away from? Is it just too, do you find, like me, I feel very clumsy when I do put it on. I've tried to do the blending brush that's square. I've tried to do the blending brush that's round. No offense to the people that make it. I just have absolutely got no, I've tried it. I really have, and I never ever succeed. I'm always disappointed with the way that it looks. And I have watched many crafters over the years who have done an elegant job. They are so elegant at putting it out there. Wow, I admire you guys. So I admire fussy cutters, and I admire people that can use that blending tool proficiently. Me, I'm absolutely hopeless. So this is why I came up with a method of my own, and I wanted to share it with you. If you're feeling that it just doesn't look as neat or as clean as you would like it to look, it's got funny shapes here and there, and you feel it's time consuming, well, let me show you my method, because all those were my issues and this is what I've come up with. Okay, so in front of you here I have got my faded and frayed papers, and a lot of these faded and frayed papers they're built on the silhouette kit, so they'll be in the description box below if you're curious. So they're actually based on embroidery from the past. Yeah, they're antique. A lot of these are antique embroidery patterns that I use to create the silhouette kits. And these silhouette kits have got so many uses, but one of the uses is, I'll list it below. It's the faded and frayed method of coffee tea staining, and the results that you get are pretty spectacular. So they will bleed the ink, and you do it with an inkjet printer, and you'll find that the image, you will get the impression of the image, but as it progresses down and up the pages, like the Princess and the Pea, you'll find that it will start becoming more faded, and that's why I'm calling it the faded and frayed. And at times I like getting these results to give it that kind of frayed old Persian rug look. So I've only just given you a couple of examples here because I'm going to be using them to ink them up. However, with these, a lot of the times you won't even need to ink them up. It's mainly the ones that are just your plain paper, or where, you know, the ink hasn't gone anywhere. But if you're curious as to see how I do my papers, because I will get dark edges, and it's like the inking is already done. So I'll try and list a couple of those videos below for you to check out if you don't know what I'm talking about, or if you've missed those videos, they'll be there. But I do have a playlist if you ever need them with my coffee tea staining techniques. But if you're interested in the kits, there's 3, but there are 2 more coming. I'm in the middle of trying to organize them. So yeah, keep a lookout for those in my Etsy shop. And I only sell on Etsy, by the way, nowhere else. If you see anything Medieval Mirage anywhere else and I haven't announced that I'm moving or going anywhere else, then please know they have been hijacked or stolen, and that's not me. Okay, so anyway, let's get cracking. And as I said, I'll list the kits below if you're interested in the silhouette kit, or you're wondering, oh wow, what is that all about? It'll be listed below alongside the what do we call them, the videos that show you the method. And that's what I would recommend. Watch how I do the faded and frayed, and if you like the results and the way that I do it, then please check out the shop with the black and white images, and you have tons. You always get 40 plus, generally 40 plus in my kits of different designs, and yeah. Okay, let's get started. All right, so what's the secret? An inking board, making your own inking board. So how do we make our own inking board? Well, it's primarily for your signatures. So this is for your signatures. If you're going to be making a larger signature, well, obviously you'll make a larger inking board out of cardboard. Preferably, when you make your cutting board, it is good just to measure your the signature that you're going to be using regularly, and you want to just make it slightly shorter on the top and the side, so that you know you're actually not wasting your ink, because you're getting it on the paper rather than on the cardboard. Now it will eventually start building up, that's just normal, but if you have it too long and wide, you'll find that you'll be getting the ink on there, and that could eventually go on the underside and it may not look pretty. So you just want to get it to the right dimensions, so that there's a little bit of a lip going over it, not much, you know, just a lip over it. So you'll have to just test it out as you're doing it. So all you need to do is get some cardboard, and I think this is about 4 mil. So this is about 4 mil thick. So this is just your normal paper, and that's just about 4 mil, roughly 4 mil. This is really great. So this was just packaging cardboard that, you know, was housing something. It's got a smooth surface. I know it's not that pretty. You might want to kind of, you know, give yourself an upgrade with making yours look pretty, but you don't want to go too over the top. You want your surface to be smooth and not going to compromise anything when you're doing your inking. But you want it solid, just like a table. If it's too thin, it's not going to really be helpful. It will, you know, bend and be frustrating. But if you get something that is solid, you're going to be okay. So you might want to raid your neighbors or your friends. Tell them, hey, save all your packaging stuff for me. I'm coming to get it for my journal covers and my inking boards. You only need one, really, unless you make them in different sizes. So about 4 mil. Now if you don't have anything really solid, then just find whatever you can, cut them all to size and then glue them together. Yeah, just glue your pieces together until it's like a 4 mil. Now you don't want it to be too thick, because when you're going to be putting this in, you know, you don't want to sort of hurt this. So this is just the perfect size for what I need to do, the 4 mil width. You're just going to find your cardboard, and this was the piece that I used, a DeWalt product, not that I'm promoting them or anything. And you're going to get your paper, and I did video myself doing this, but I wasn't really happy with, I don't know, sometimes my video, I don't pay attention to it, so it was not, I wasn't impressed with it. So anyway, I'm doing it again. So yeah, all you have to do is lay down your paper. Now I've already got like fold lines there, which is really, really helpful. So I just jut it up to those bits there. I get my pencil and I really just do a dot to dot kind of thing all the way around. And then I get my ruler, which I don't have with me, but you're going to get your ruler, and let's pretend this is a ruler, and you're going to line everything up all the way around, and then very carefully with something underneath here, you're going to use your X-Acto knife or your scissors or whatever you have to cut this out. So use a ruler, a nice wide ruler. Keep your hands safe as you're cutting it down with an X-Acto knife or a blade. Please be careful. Of course, this is not intended for children. This is for adult crafters only. And yeah, and of course, safety is important. Or you might use a really good pair of scissors and take your time, get a nice straight edge, and there you have it. You've got your inking board already done. So I didn't really have to do much to this. It just came out really well. I was really happy with it. So now that we've got our inking board, and I have already done this at the introduction, what is all of this stuff? Now, I have actually on one of my videos shown you some of the ways that you can ink things up. I have got this where I do sometimes some inking, but I do prefer this above anything else. It is just so versatile for me. I can be doing it standing up over a bin, because you will get some crafting dandruff. That's what I call dandruff or debris. Dandruff debris, crafting debris, or sponge debris, or sponge dandruff. Yeah, you will get that. So you need something where you can at least have all your little implements, you know, keep this all together, and you pull it out, and you know, you can go anywhere. It can sit on your lap watching TV, and away you go inking, and it'll be really, really fast, especially if this is kind of semi-moist. You don't want it over the top moist, you just want it semi-moist. So if it's a bit dry, that's okay. If you're worried that it's not giving you enough, then just a light mist of spray of water on it should activate it, and you should get a nice application. But always have some paper spare next to you where you just test it out first. Just always put it down first, and then you can gauge how you go about inking it up. Sponges. What to use for sponges if you don't have an application, or you don't want to use an application. Now, I know these look really ghastly, don't they? And this one is one of my favorites because I have used it and used it and used it, and it has never let me down. This is about, I think it's about 90 this way and about 120 mil this way. It's a great length. So this one's basically died on me because look, it's almost disintegrating. But I love that I can grip it this way or this way. And this is really my go-to, as you can see. So they're just from your kitchen aisle in wherever you go shopping, really. It's just a matter, like this one, I could hold it really well this way, but I generally use other colors with this one. And I'm usually always using, you know, either coffee or vintage photo or potting soil or any of those kind of vintage looking colors or coffee colors. And then you've got this, and the reason why I've kept this on there, it just really is easy to grip it that way, and it has more durability, and then you can throw it on. Now these are great too, and they're not bad because they've got a bit of a curve on them. And there was one more, here it is, and yeah, so they've got a bit of a curve on them, but you've got to really kind of be mindful of these as well. They are great, I love them, especially into little hard to reach places. Sometimes you think, oh no, I can't be bothered inking, and then you go, oh, I wish I did, but it's glued down, what can I do? These can go into, you know, all sorts of places. And if you get the whole range of them, you can get even tiny ones, and I think there might be an even larger one than this one. So, but they aren't really my go-tos. That's the only thing. And then we've got these little ones. They're really great for the intricate little things or anything that's really hard to reach. But just remember, eventually they will start disintegrating. So that's just a normal part of things. And here's another one. I like this one because it's got a curve. It's not flat surface, it's got a curve. But I have to say, my go-to is always using, you know, these ones here especially. Okay, so that's the medieval mirage method, I guess. So all you have to do now is grab a piece of paper. And as I said before, some of these papers don't even really need inking up at all from the faded and frayed method. And here we go. Let's, we'll see, even with that there, it's already been done. Well, it looks like it's been done naturally. Okay, let's use this one here. And I'll put that aside. So you need this to catch all the dandruff that will most likely be falling off there. So whatever sponge you can find, give it a go. It'll really depend on how comfortable it feels for you and if it works well. Okay, so all I'm going to do is I'm going to grab my coffee Ranger one, and this is how easy it is. So you're just going to line it all up. You might even want to have your paper folded ready to go. So I won't ink this part up because that looks really good, but we'll just I just don't know which one to use. Let's use this one here so that you can see. Now, first of all, one of the things that you can do is if you just want the edges done, this is how quick and easy this is. You can either pat it down or run it along. Okay, and then you're just going to get your sponge. Now we have a before and after. As you can see, we've just inked up our edges, and that's how quick it was. Let's just see. Let me put so really you just sort of grab it from there, and that's where if it's a bit dry you might just need to spray it with a little bit of water, just a fine mist, just to get it going, and you'll find it'll go onto your sponge. But always check first, do a little dab first, and yeah, and you can build it up slowly and you can make it as grungy as you like. But yeah, you can just take your time, build it up. You can do it lightly, you can do it heavy, but it really does give it a beautiful finish. So there we have it. So that's kind of like your before, and now this is your after. Maybe if I move that out of the way, you might be able to see it a little bit better. Let me just do this bit here. Now there hasn't been much debris falling on here, only because this is a new, I've only just started using this sponge, and I know some sponges are very weird these days. The reason why this one looks a bit funny is because, and it looks a bit gross, I know, I'm sorry that looks so gross. There's no point in washing them, they'll just fall apart. But when I purchased this, I didn't realize it had, you know, it had something similar to this, very similar, a bit different color. But they had all these little balls in there, and I'm going, what? So I pulled them out, and I know that's kind of compromised this, but I wish they didn't have those balls, because this would have lasted the distance. Because, yeah, it starts to wear away. And you can actually decide which is going to be your favorite way of holding it. So there's just depends on how quick you want to do it. So having this wide and long means you slap it on in no time. There's no blending this way. It just is something you can do really quickly. So that's just for those of us that just, you know, well, I don't feel elegant. I feel clumsy using those beautiful blending tools. Great idea, those blending tools. Don't get me wrong, they have got many uses, but I'm just not good at them. So yeah, so there's before and after, and that's how quick that was, as you would have seen. Just super quick. So one more time, let's do one together. Here, we'll use this one here, and side. Let's just go with this side. So obviously these don't really need inking up, but sometimes they do. So let's get cracking. Oh, let's do it this way. Okay, so for me, I think I like to hold mine this way for this particular tutorial. I feel like I'm getting more on this way. And sometimes when you're inking up, it doesn't almost look like you haven't done any inking at all, because, you know, it takes a while to build it up. But if you only want the lightest of colors on your signatures, then this is the way. And it's remarkable when you see the difference when you put something side by side. It really is remarkable. So anyway, I just wanted to share my method with you. I hope it will be of help for all of you that are shying away from inking. Sometimes you don't always have enough surface space. You might have a lot of projects on and things just get in the way. This can be done standing, sitting in front of the TV with this on your lap. So just have some paper on your lap or a tea towel on your lap just to collect this dandruff. This is what I call the dandruff. And we all get dandruff, crafting dandruff. So this now can go straight in the bin. And I just chuck in my little family of interesting tools. Put it aside, and that goes in there with them as well. So they're all in together. And there we go. So before, after, and before, after. So this is how you can get your papers inked up. Did I do another one? I don't think so. Yeah, so that's how you can get your papers inked up, everyone. And as I was saying before, a lot of the faded and frayed and a lot of the methods that I use with coffee and tea staining, you may not even need to ink things up. But if you've got a light paper or you just like using a bit of tea but you want to kind of create a bit of depth around the corners, then I hope this tutorial will speed things up for you, make it easy for you, and make you more invested in getting those pages inked up. And for those little bits and pieces that you might have, well, what I recommend is you can always make another inking board for those, and you can just go around them and, you know, still have it in your hands. But generally, you'll just have to hold your piece and go into those little nooks and crannies. But generally, this method is for inking up your signature journal pages. So thank you everyone for joining me. I hope you have a great day wherever you are. Thank you for joining me on my Craft with Jarf series, and I look forward to catching up with you at the next video. Thank you everyone. Please take care. Bye.